Saturday afternoon basketball here in Cincinnati. It's the Bearcats and the Oklahoma Sooners. Another ranked matchup for Cincinnati. I'm Preston Baker. He's Justin Diedrich. It doesn't get any easier. I mean, it's big game after big game after big game, and you just had an emotional, gritty win on Tuesday, and guess what? You got to turn around and do it again today.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down, they're in the middle of a gauntlet of ranked games right now. This is their 5th out of 6 in a row. They're 7th on the year if you count the Dayton game, who at the time was unranked, now currently ranked number 21 in the poll. And they have to turn around 2 days from now and play at number 3 Kansas. It's just iron sharpens iron, but this is tough for Cincinnati going here down this stretch.
Oh yeah, nothing says welcome to the conference like a 6-game stretch of straight ranked opponents. All 6 of these teams too are going to be in the NCAA tournament, and right now you're 2-2 in that stretch. A win today would be huge, and at least guaranteeing yourself a 500 stint in this stretch, and a 500 stint is good enough. You're not complaining about that.
I mean, you can put this on the resume. It'd be your 3rd top 20 win, your 2nd in a row. You got one of those top 20 wins away. I mean, it's those resume builders you look for earlier in the year that end up coming back to either haunt you or help you come selection show.
Oh yeah, and it's the stuff that once we're sitting there on that Sunday afternoon in March and you're wondering, well, is our name going to be in, or where will our name be? It's wins like Tuesday, wins like you could get today that are going to be those things that pop up in what your resume is and why you should be where you should be. And so today's a really important one. And the student sections, I talked about it a little bit during halftime on Tuesday. You know, the student section, especially Tuesday, felt like they were here for all 45. I mean, that was one of the biggest reasons I thought that you were able to go out there and get that win on Tuesday, was the student section created this advantage, and you're getting that home court advantage. We've seen all around in college basketball this year, it's nearly impossible to win on the road. I mean, it is so hard to win on the road, and Cincinnati's done a good job at making sure it's hard to win in this place.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the student section for that game on Tuesday, and it was absolutely rocking. A lot of just screaming, yelling fans ready for the make it tough for the opposing team. And Oklahoma, they're 0-2 on the road today, and now they have to come into a hostile, sold-out crowd. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to try to at least put one win in that away column, but the Bearcats are going to do everything they can to make sure they don't do that. Yeah,
Oklahoma played on the road and at Kansas last week. Their 2 road games in conference have not been great showings from Oklahoma. At TCU, at Kansas, really got it handed to them at TCU. Kansas, they were there for probably about, I'd say 28, 30 minutes, and then Kansas was able to control things towards the end. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they react to this. Oklahoma started out really well. They won their first, I think it was 11 ball games. They're 3-3 in their last 6, so, or 3-4 now with the win in the middle of the week, but they're not playing anywhere near as good basketball now as they were at the beginning of the year.
The thing about this Oklahoma team is that all 3 of their losses have come against ranked teams. You mentioned Kansas, TCU, who is now ranked at the time, unranked, and North Carolina early in the year, who North Carolina is an exceptional basketball team. I mean, it's just tough for these top-tier teams when you look at that schedule and you see 3 losses, and then you really look further, all 3 ranked teams, and now they have another opportunity against a non-ranked team, a Bearcats team who could very well get ranked in this poll coming out Monday.
Yeah, and you talked about it. They haven't won a true road game this year. They've won a couple of neutral site games when they were out in San Diego during Thanksgiving week, but their only true road games are their 2 conference games that they've lost so far, and they lost a neutral site game in Charlotte. I mean, really kind of a semi-home game per se for North Carolina there in Charlotte, but you're going to have to take advantage of that. You know, this is a team that isn't amazing when it comes to playing on the road and facing adversity, and you're going to need to be able to take advantage of that today.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bearcats are primed to do that, right? 11-1 at home, that only loss coming to the Texas game. They played exceptionally better at home. Just the eye test says that alone. The team just looks more comfortable, more ready to go at home, backed by all these fans. And, I mean, just the energy here gives them the second win that they need. Just go out, play their best here against a tough opponent who, honestly, I mean, this Oklahoma team, I feel like is kind of being underrated by a lot of us, maybe even us as well, the way we're talking about them. This is still the number 15 ranked team in the country with a great resume right here, and they're a part of the prestige Big 12 moving to the SEC next year. I mean, this is not one to be taken lightly at all.
Yeah, and they played a couple of good ball clubs in non-conference. They beat Arkansas at a neutral site, which was kind of a semi-home for Oklahoma. They played that game out in Tulsa. And then they beat Iowa and USC as well in non-conference. Both teams have not quite been as good as expected, but Oklahoma's won games against some good teams. Their 2 wins in conference have been against, I'd say, somewhat lower level Big 12 opponents. They beat West Virginia, they beat Iowa State, but you know, it's one of those, you got to make sure you're showing up. You can't get off the bus too late, or else this one's going to get away from you quick. And for Oklahoma, you know, they're trying to get back into winning ways. They've been to the NCAA tournament a good amount recently. Their head coach, Porter Moser's done a really good job with this program since he took over a couple of years ago. And it's not a team you can take lightly, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned those 2 Big 12 wins for them. Iowa State, I'll give them their flowers for that. Iowa State's a very tough team. They have a Naismith Player of the Year candidate in Taman Lipsey. And then they kind of dismantled a West Virginia team who's taken a big hit this year after the loss of Coach Bob Huggins. But even then, any wins in this conference you can count as pretty good wins. I mean, this is just a tough basketball conference all around. And as well, you mentioned head coach Porter Moser. He's an experienced coach. I mean, he made a Final Four run, that miraculously run, with Loyola Chicago back in 2018. I'm sure a lot of March Madness fans remember that. Big story with Sister Jean. Porter Moser did that with his team, and he's looking to do something similar with this Oklahoma team. Get them to the tournament, make them go far. Just how far can he take them is the question.
And for Oklahoma today, it's going to be probably Javion McCullough and Otega Owe that are going to be the biggest players for them. If Owe can get going, it's going to be hard for Cincinnati to find a way to stop him. He's a really good player for Oklahoma. His brother played football for Oklahoma as well, so that's kind of cool. His brother's in the NFL. But there's a couple of playmakers for Oklahoma that if you're Cincinnati, you're thinking, we got to find a way to counter that and have our own playmakers go make plays. And I think, you know, bringing Dan Skillings off the bench, we've seen it the whole time in conference play, these first four games. Dan Skillings is the difference maker in a lot of these ball games. If he can come off the bench, give that spark, he's going to find a way to work himself into the basketball game. And even on Tuesday, it felt like he didn't do much in the first half, and then second half, he goes and hits a layup to ultimately win you the ball game in the overtime period. So, you know, I think Dan Skillings is going to be one that you're going to need him to be on early, right when he comes off the bench. And it'll be interesting to see, too, if Aziz Bandaogo is fully healthy. He didn't look fully healthy on Tuesday.
I believe Skillings has started the last 3 games for the Bearcats.
He has, because of C.J. Frederick. It is funny. I was looking during warm-ups, I was watching a guy, and I thought in my head I was thinking it's C.J. Frederick. It was actually walk-on Landon Long. Landon Long kind of looks like C.J. is just a little shorter. So from up here, I was like, you know, he might be playing. That still is out with the injury. So we'll see how Cincinnati can work things out. I think it's been a really good coaching job by Wes Miller so far this year, just in the fact that you've had to work with so many different combinations of guys so far in this season. And, you know, it feels like there's never a time where you're fully healthy. There's never a time where all 15 are good to go. Seems like you're kind of like putting together different parts and finding ways to win even then. And Wes has done a really good job at that so far this season.
Yeah, and that's just good coaching. I mean, it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces change shape every time you move them. You can never make the full puzzle because everything's changing. You have to try to put it together as best you can and work with what you have. And Wes Miller's done a spectacular job doing that. I think the lineups he's put out in these last 2 conference games have been really good. He's been changing the way the offense in these past 3 games compared to what we saw before conference play looks wildly different. The defense plays a lot more energy, a lot more hustle than we had seen in the earlier games. I just think Miller's done a good job getting his team ready for the tougher competition after, quite frankly, a pretty easy out-of-conference schedule.
And one of the biggest players that have stepped up because of that is Josh Reed. He's a guy that you never really know how many minutes he's going to get. I couldn't give you a confident answer right now of how many minutes I think he's going to get today, because some days he's going out there. I mean, I think he played 22, 24 minutes the other day. And I mean, there's some days where he's going out there and getting a lot of time, and a lot of his stats, a lot of what he gives to the team doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He's an energy guy. Defensively is really tight defensively, and if you go give him that ball open at the three-point line, he's going to go get you a three too. Josh Reed has played really well and really stepped up into a role that you needed him to step up in with injuries.
And speaking about stepping up, I want to talk about last game. Day Thomas, you know, he had some struggle games before this in the conference, and he put all the talk about him to rest, to silence after last game. Had a spectacular game against the Horned Frogs. I think he's going to come out playing strong tonight, try to look to keep that going, you know, make a habit of having those strong games as they get further into conference play. This is another opportunity, second home game in a row. Fans have his back now. I think he's going to go out there and play with more confidence than he had earlier in the season.
Game's starting to slow down for him a bit too. He's missing a couple layups here and there, but nowhere near as, he doesn't look as discombobulated as we saw early in the season. So.
And it's a big jump when you go from junior college as well up to the Big 12. But tip-off just about to get underway. Looks like it's going to be Bandego versus Sam Godwin on the tip. Bandego back in the starting lineup, you mentioned. Didn't look fully healthy in that last game. Seems like Coach Miller thinks he's ready to go back into the starting lineup. And ball will go to the Bearcats way after a little bit of a fumble on the tip. Day Thomas eventually grabs it across half court and set things up to start the game. Drives left, takes a screen from Locken, kicks, Lukosius, wing, drives inside, gets to the cup and loses it on his way up. Lock-in offensive rebound, put back, no good. Out of bounds, Bearcats basketball. Fumbled off of the hands. I believe that was Jalen Moore who couldn't corral it.
It's kind of an awkward series right there. You didn't secure the tip real strong. Come down to the other end, and Seamus just lost it when he went up with it. Ended up being able to go back up, did Lock-in, and he just missed.
Newman on the 5th-3 logo in the wing, gets down, Bandego, baseline post, he's doubled. Kick out, Thomas. Newman drive, baseline, he slips and falls. They get him for the travel on the slip. Just an unfortunate series of events on that first offensive possession.
Yeah, he didn't look together right there, that's for sure. But that's about as easy of a travel call as you're going to make as an official, right in front of you and slipping like that.
Javian McCullum loses it himself. A little bit of a slippery ball today. Eventually they get it now. That's Milos Uzan. Godwin inside working on Bandego. Set back by Bandego. Pushing the pace, Newman, Lukosius, wing three. Ooh, no good, just rimmed out for him. McCullum rebound. Javian McCullum, their leading scorer at 14.9 points a game, gives it up Owe. Back to McCullum, he'll slow things down. Working on Thomas. Takes a screen from Godwin, now goes right, puts some moves on Bandego, scoop off the backboard, just rims out. Aziz has to throw it in as he's falling out of bounds. On the Bearcat side, it's Newman being guarded tightly by Owe. Owe comes from an athletic family, a defensive family. His brother does play outside linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. I believe he was from the Penn State Nittany Lions, if I remember right, first-round draft pick a few years back. He has the defensive instincts. It's going to be a tough matchup for Newman to break. Bandego has it, top of the key, dribbles around, handoff Lukosius. Lukosius drives right, puts it up off the backboard and good. First points of the night go for Simas Lukosius.
You know, someone had to score eventually. Simas finally was able to finish at the rack. It's like the third layup attempt, I think, for Cincinnati so far today, and he finally hit one.
Pass out, Uzan, fakes drive, kick McCullum. A lot of drive and kick here for the Sooners, nothing open. Owe has to drive, pass inside, and Godwin who's sent back by Locken.
Godwin's been blocked twice at the rim now by both Cincinnati bigs.
Thomas looking high post to Locken, and he's fouled. That's going to go on 14, Jalon Moore.
Got to take a second here, too. Talk about the uniform matchup. Oklahoma gray, I think they consider them anthracite jerseys is what they call it. Gray tops, gray shorts. Cincinnati in jerseys that they unveiled yesterday. These throwbacks that kind of mimic the 70s throwbacks they wore the last 2 years, but have a Cincinnati script instead of the Cats on the chest. Really nice looking uniform combination.
Thomas had to bail out of a double. Gives it to Locken, who finishes the double clutch and one.
That was a really good play there. It kind of brought the defense out to the corner and then was able to find Locken right in the middle. And Locken's gotten really comfortable handling the ball. You've seen that. That was one of his big improvements this year from years past, is you feel like he's okay to have the ball outside the three-point line, was able to put it on the ground, go up, get an and one, have an opportunity to go up 5 here.
Free throw no good for Locken. Something that has troubled the Bearcats all season long is the free throw shooting. Milos Uzan passes off to McCullum. Swinging around the top for the Sooners. Uzan takes the screen, drives right, kicks. Godwin, pass almost went over his head. He was able to corral it. Owe on the wing, working on Luke Coaches, is stopped in his tracks. Nothing going for the Sooners. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Uzan forced to do up or under. That's blocked. Lukosius pushing the pace on the other side. Now he'll stop.
Thought Seamouse had a lob opportunity right there.
Locken spins out of the double. That bank hook no good. Uzan's been the lead man for these last few Sooner possessions. Still can't get past Lukosius. High pass to Moore, goes up over Bandego, rims out, a foul on Godwin during the rebound.
The defense has been outstanding in these first 3.5 minutes of this ballgame. Obviously, still a big goose egg up on the board, but I mean, that's now 3 blocks actually, and then a couple of real hard rebounds on the other end as well. You've done a really good job defending. I don't think Oklahoma's gotten a shot off in earlier than with 10 or less seconds on the shot clock.
Rivaldo Soares checks in for Oklahoma. Dan Skilling's in for the Bearcats. Thomas on the wing, takes the screen from Locken. He's doubled, bails out. Now Lukosius, opposite wing. He'll take the deep three. That one front rim and no good.
That one felt a little forced. You could tell right away that it was a little short as well. You don't hate that shot, but you also don't love it.
Backing down, Locken, and they get the travel call on John Hewley. And timeout, Oklahoma. 4-0 after 4 minutes of play.
Not much you can complain about, honestly. I mean, you can complain about missing shots. You miss shots early, but you know, in general, you've played a really good first 4 minutes here. You're up 4-0 now. You know, there's been a lot of energy. You can feel the energy, and that's one thing that I've liked is this Bearcat team, and it's been this way all year, but you've especially been able to see it in the first 4 minutes, is they're really kind of built on defense, and the crowd knows it. I mean, you're seeing Oklahoma will make a couple of passes, try to penetrate, not be able to, and that's what gets the crowd going. It's not even necessarily a big play. It's just the idea of, oh yeah, we were able to stop them. Let's start cheering. And I think the student sections on both ends really help with that too, because it kind of gets the juices flowing defensively. And hey, it's worked so far.
Yeah, I think if you're Cincinnati, you're very happy with how your defense have played. I mean, 0 points. The paint defense has been incredible. That's kind of what you get with the duo of Locken and Bandego. And I don't think you're mad at your offense either. I think the 4 points is kind of a mistell of how the offense has been. They've been getting up decent shots. They just haven't fallen for them, and that happens sometimes. I don't think you're mad at the shots that you've taken. They'll start falling. You just got to keep shooting them. And I think Wes Miller's just telling his team to continue to play on offense with confidence. I mean, we saw Victor Locken not afraid to drive inside. I mean, Lukosius not afraid to take these shots. They'll start falling. You just have to keep taking them.
And that's something, you know, you think about the free throws, and feels like every single night you talk about the same stuff. You know, the free throws are just not falling. He didn't miss that one free throw, Victor Locken, on the three-point play opportunity, but you're really not worried about how many points you're going to score here. When your defense is playing like this, you're thinking, we're going to be able to stay a couple points ahead. And did turn the ball over on the first possession, but no turnovers since. It's been pretty clean as far as offense has gone. You're just missing a couple more shots than you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to happen in a basketball game, especially when you have this high stakes of a game. It's early in the game. I always like to say early game jitters kind of gets you. It's those nerves, it's some butterflies. But those will go away. I think it'll go away sooner for the Bearcats, considering they have this sold-out crowd behind them. Oklahoma may take a little bit longer for them to get those butterflies away.
Yeah, a little bit of a later arriving crowd. It didn't look quite as full as I thought it was going to at the national anthem, which is about 10 minutes before tip. But it has definitely filled up. Probably have about 11,500 to 12,000 in the building. We'll see how many they actually sell. Over at Nippert, 40,000 is the capacity. They only sell about 37,500 tickets. So we'll see what their attendance ultimately is. But it's definitely a benefit to the Bearcats to have the big crowd and the energy in here.
Lukosha is going to inbound. Full court press instituted by the Sooners. Lukosha gets it across half court. And now Dede Thomas will run things, give it back. Lukosha. Two-man game between Thomas and Seamoss. Now they add locking into that. Passing around just the top of the key. Not much movement. Now drive, kick, Newman, corner three. Short ironed it. Rebound goes to Owe. Pushing the pace a little bit up to Jalen Moore. Owe drives left. Scoop layup is good for the first points for Oklahoma.
Hey, you knew they were going to score eventually. You weren't going to be able to hold to zero the whole ball game.
Weak press put by the Sooners. And Locken slipped and traveled on the gather. Not happy about that one, but not much he can do. Court seems to be a little slippery today.
He pivoted, and then I think he just pivoted on the foot he didn't pivot on the first time. I think he did a kind of a two-step pivot there. And another travel call that's pretty easy to make if you're the official.
Javian McCullum calls for some help by Suarez. Now they give it. John Hugley up top. He passes off to McCullum. Wasn't willing to take the open three. Owe, wing. Stopped in his tracks by Lukosha. It's been a common theme today. Sooners, 4 seconds left. McCullum forced to take a deep three. That one, nothing. Fans chanting air ball, similar to how they did last game. Good pass by Locken to a cutting Lukosha, but Jalen Moore says not today.
That was really good off-ball movement by Seamus Lukosha right there. He was able to kind of V-cut, fake his man out, go back door, and was wide open. A good find, too. Just went up and got it sent out into the Sooner bench, which, it happens, whatever. It was a good cut, though. You see that might be open as this game goes along.
Freshman Jizzle James checks in for the Bearcats, as well as Temple transfer Jamil Reynolds. Reynolds has it up top, trying to look for Skillings. Eventually has to bail out to Lukosha. Lukosha's kick. Skillings, corner. Fake the three. Now 6 seconds on the shot clock. Kicks out. John Newman has to put something up. Kicks Lukosha. Corner three. Knockdown three by Lukosha.
That's as good of a look as you could have gotten there with the shot clock expiring. I'm really surprised Lukosha got that open, too.
Uzan needs to get something going here for the Sooners. Takes the screen from Hugley, now passes to him, cutting baseline, and he gets it to go.
A good play by Hughley. He knew that the blocks have been aplenty today and kind of had to hesitate to go up with it.
Jizzle James, free throw, pull-up jumper, good. His first points of the night. James has been a good spark plug for the Bearcats all year, averaging about 7.5 points a game off the bench. Milos Uzan behind the back pass, not accurate. A run for it on the other side of the court. Foul. I believe they're going to call that foul on Jalen Moore, pushing Newman while racing to the basketball.
I think Newman did get shoved. I think they just called it straight out of bounds for the Bearcats. It is a little disappointing. Newman tripped up a little bit back towards the three-point line. If he had a clean run, he probably could have scooped that and gone and dunked it. Cincinnati will get possession nonetheless.
Newman on the wing, working on the 5th-3rd logo, guarded by Owe. Drives to his left, kicks, Lukosius, wing. Thought about the shot, decided not to. Now he'll take a deep contested one. Not sure about that look. Latrey Darthard has it, former teammate of Aziz Bandago back at Utah Valley. His first year at Oklahoma. They kick it to him out on the wing, guarded by Skillings. He goes baseline, forced to kick it out. Hugley fake the three, rises up and draws the contact. He'll head to the line for 2.
It is funny. It seems like about 15 left on the shot clock or so, people start clapping and cheering. Once you get lower in that shot clock and start to lock things up a bit more, the crowd gets going. Really was not a bad defensive possession there either.
Hugley, opportunity for the first Sooner free throws of today's afternoon ball game. He knocks down the first.
Josh Reed will come in for the first time today. You don't mind how this game is speed-wise so far. Cincinnati feels like they're kind of the ones picking the tempo at this point. You know, it feels like they're the ones who are kind of going with things, and they're the ones who are controlling the ball game as far as speed goes.
Hugley hits the second. Luke Northwetter checking in for Oklahoma. He only averages about 6.3 minutes per game. A little bit of an early check-in for a guy that doesn't get too much play.
I think they're trying to defend size with size there. I think that was Porter Moser's thought on bringing in 6'11" Norweather with Bandago in the ball game.
Skillings, left wing. Now kicks back out. Jizzle James working on the mismatch. The big Hugley kicks to Reed. Now Dan Lowe. Bandago on the block. Jump pass. Skillings wing three, no good. Bandago fighting for the offensive board. Tried to throw it in to keep it in bounds, but his foot was on the line. It'll go Sooners basketball.
Really good find there by Aziz. He knew that he had the mismatch down low. They were going to try to bring help, and the second they brought help, he found the open man, and it was a really good look from Skillings. He just couldn't get it to fall.
McCullum still looking for his first points of the day. Northwetter, corner three. That one might have been tipped by Reynolds. Nonetheless, good contest by the big man. Jizzle James, sidestep jumper, no good. Reynolds there for the putback slam.
Jamil Reynolds dunked on somebody, but he dunked on Aziz Bandago right there with the putback. Really good play by Reynolds.
Crowd starting to get loud here. Sooners struggling to find their spot. Uzan almost turns it over. Now Suarez, corner three. That one knocked down for him.
Oklahoma needed that. That's a big shot for them.
James pushes the pace. Reed already on the side. Kick down low. Reynolds. Shot no good. Skillings. Kick to Bandago. He's going to take the three. That one well short-armed and airballed.
You could tell he did not want to take that. He looked around. He tried to find someone to give it to, and there was just nobody there to give it to. Had to take it. That was I think his second attempt of the season. He made his first, but yeah, that just was not quite what you wanted from that.
I mean, it's been a pretty evenly played game so far. I think the Bearcats only being up by 2 is a closer score than the game has really been so far. The Sooners offense has just not been there. The Bearcats have been playing decent in transition so far. Just shots haven't fallen for them. Kind of just an aggressive, scrappy defensive game we've had so far.
You've been in control the whole game. You've led the whole game. Starting to you know, the score is close. It's a 2-point ball game now, but you still feel like you're in control of the 2-point ball game, which is all you really care about. You know, you want to stay in control. You want to be able to run that ball game how you want it to be. You don't want to have to play their kind of ball game, and you haven't had to so far. So it's been a good start for Cincinnati. It's a start that you've needed for this.
And the Bearcats, you talked about control. They're controlling the boards right now, which is one of the biggest things you can do in basketball. They're winning the rebound battle, 11-8, and they got 4 offensive rebounds. Oklahoma has none. I mean, the offensive rebounds of second chance opportunities, huge. Just for giving the Bearcats, like I said, second chance. You get more shots up, more chance they're going to go in.
Yeah, and that putback dunk was kind of the most emphatic way you can do that. But it's been a really good start to this on the glass. And, you know, you're not even really, size-wise, you're not much bigger than they are. But you've been able to be more, your big guys have been more athletic than their big guys, and that's really been what's caused this start and what's caused you controlling the early portions of this ball game. And you just need to be able to do that for a whole 40. You've done it for now 9 minutes, but you got to be able to do it for the next 31.
He's back and on your feet, enjoying Lance Stevenson in the Lance Cam. Exposes the guitar right away.
They had played a clip up there just a few seconds ago of the Bearcats' last meeting with the Sooners back in 2011. Cincinnati is 2-0 all-time against the Sooners. Not a matchup that we'll see very often anymore, with the Sooners fleeing the conference, going to the SEC. This is about the one opportunity we'll have unless they meet up again in the Big 12 Conference Tournament later in the season.
Yeah, go to Norman in March, one of the last conference games of the regular season for Cincinnati. Starting to play a couple of these teams. You know, your first 3 conference matchups were all just one. Like, you're just playing them once in BYU, Baylor, Texas. Now you're starting to play the teams you're going to see twice. So it's interesting, kind of the folds you don't give in your first matchup, so you have it for your second one.
Northwetter kicks down Godwin. High baseline, handoff to Uzan. He's going to drive on Skillings. Baseline floater, no good. Skillings corrals the board. Now pushes up to Reed. Stays swinging around the perimeter. Bandego has it up top, trying to get it to Jizzle James. He finally does. James, skip past Skillings, corner 3. No good. And it'll stay Bearcats ball as Bandego was fouled on the rebound attempt.
You know, those threes are going to fall eventually. Just keep shooting them. They're all good look. I mean, you're 1 for 8 right now, but I feel like of those 8, there's been probably, 5 good looks from 3, and you made one of them. So you just got to keep shooting them at this point. I liked that look from Skillings.
That one make coming from Lukosius in the corner when the shot clock was winding down. Skillings kicks Reed, will take one from the corner. That one just rims out for him. The luck on the 3-point is not going to Bearcats' way. McCullum drive, kick right to the hands of Dan Skillings. Skillings will give it off to Reed once again. Reed, high jump pass to Bandego, who struggled to come down with that one. On the Sooners side, McCullum kicks Jalen Moore, corner 3, that one. Good for a Sooner lead, their first of the day.
A little bit of sloppy play on the offensive end right there. Kind of going a little too fast with it, truly, and that's what caused that turnover, too high of a pass, and then ultimately goes right down into 3 points on the other end.
James kicks Reed corner. He'll dribble it back up top. James trapped up on the wing, trying to find an out. Sees Bandego. 30 seconds on the shot clock. James is going to be forced to put up a tough contested 3. Short rimmed it. Rebound, Milos Uzan. Now kick McCullum. That three off the mark. Bearcats weren't able to secure the rebound. Both Locken and Bandego were going for it at the same time.
Just got to slow things down, calm down a little bit.
Miscommunication.
You were able to deal with the pace and everything and didn't play too sloppy there in the first 7 or so minutes of the ball game. And then now recently it's been, feels like you're kind of racing yourselves here.
Coach Miller will put Day Thomas back in the game. Jizzle James will take a rest. Darthard will inbound far baseline for the Sooners. Gets it in to Hugley. Back to Darthard, handoff. Working on Reed. Swings it all the way around to the other side to Jalon Moore. Moore loses it on the dribble. It's picked up by Day Thomas. Day drives left, scoop layup, blocked by Hugley. Javian McCullum running the fast break, gets it to Owe, who can't finish the hanging layup. Newman board, full court up to Thomas. Might have been pushed from behind. No call. Bearcats slow things down. It's Lock-in, high post, back down hook. Just bounces out. About the third or fourth time that's happened for the Bearcats.
Gotta hit shots here at some point. Really struggled making shots.
McCullum hearing it from the crowd. Kick, Hugley, fake the three. And they'll catch Bandego for a foul. Fans not happy about that one. Thought Hugley might have pushed off. Lukosius checks back in for the Bearcats. So does Jamil Reynolds. Miscommunication on who's going to sit down. Bandego will be the man to go take a rest on the bench.
Bearcats are up 11-6 and haven't scored since.
Bad pass by Darthard, goes to the opposite side of the court. Hugley gets it.
It wasn't an over and back.
Fans don't exactly understand how the over and back works. You can go back half court on a sideline inbound. McCullum drives, tries to sidestep Thomas. Shot clock runs out. And they're going to
foul on the drive.
Call a foul on Day Thomas. Not a call I would have personally made, but I am not a referee. Timeout on the floor, 11-12.
I think they called Day-Day's arm kind of went in under his elbow. I honestly thought the shot clock went off before that happened, though.
Yeah, I thought the shot clock had already run out, but apparently not. Bearcats down 11-12, about 7:51 to go here in the first half. Only shooting 24% from the field. Oklahoma shooting 29% overall from the field, but 40% from three. I mean, the Bearcats 1 of 10 from three at the moment. They're taking their shots. They're getting some decent looks, some bad ones in there, but some decent looks. They're just not falling all the time. I don't know. It's just been a tough offensive half. Both these defensive have been sound. Not many cracks.
Yeah, not much to. There's been a lot. I mean, the blocks have been very obvious. There's already been 5 total in the ballgame. Cincinnati with 3 of them. But being able to kind of pack it in and not let anyone get anything easy has been the case in this one so far. And, it's been a good basketball game because of that, truly. But you need to try to find a way to break past that, break through it, and, make shots is what it comes down to. At the simplest level, you need to find ways to make shots.
Yeah, I mean, for all you fans of the good, hard defense being played out there, this is the game for you so far. I mean, 13 minutes of play, and neither team has 13 points. It's just been good, a little bit of a mix of good defense and some stagnant offense.
Yeah, 9 for 35 total shooting between the two teams helps with that. That's for sure. I mean, that's... Yeah, offensively, it has not been great either way. You know, with the last couple of games, it felt like, you know, once you get to 75, that's going to win you this. This one, it's like maybe you can get to 50. That probably will win you the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, the over in this game, I believe, was set around 142.5, something around there. That is not looking likely at the current moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like these teams don't score. Both teams average just under 80 points per game coming into today. Almost exactly the same amount. Oklahoma 79.9, Cincinnati 79.5.
Javian McCullum will get 2 shots at the line coming out of the media break.
Kind of surprised they gave him continuation on that, honestly.
McCullum averaging just about 15 points on the year. He's got 0 so far. Check that, make that 1 point as he knocks down the first free throw.
There's another ball game after this, too. Women's team plays West Virginia. It starts at 4, so doubleheader here. Done it a couple times in non-conference. Never seen it done in conference play, so kind of cool.
McCullum knocks down both free throws, 14-11, Sooners lead. Sooners still keeping that light zone press on. Thomas breaks it with ease. He'll drive left side, get to the cup, sent back by Moore. Rebound, Lukosius. He got fouled on the putback attempt.
Kind of a late whistle there. I was kind of surprised they gave it to him that late. He did get the ball right back to him. He could have just put it back up. But.
The 6th offensive board for the Bearcats. Lukosius will shoot 2, hoping to get the Bearcats' first free throw make of the night. They've only shot 1, and that was a miss by Locken. And Lukosius gets point up on the board, knocks down his first.
With how this game is starting, those free throws are going to be very important with how hard it's been to score points. You know, anything that they're giving to you, that's what you got to take.
I mean, yeah, talk about being hard to score points for the Bearcats. They haven't had a field goal in the last 4 minutes. They're 0 of their last 8. Lukosius knocks down the second free throw. Fans happy about 2 free throw makes in the same trip to the line. Hasn't happened often here. Uzan looks for Hugley, gets it to him. Up top, working on Reynolds. Hand off to Uzan. Uzan, wild drive, stolen by John Newman. Lukosius will push the pace, gives it Thomas. Hanging drive, and he is blocked by Jalen Moore. Moore has been hounding the paint for the Bearcats all day. Good cut by Moore. Pass just runs into a Bearcat. High pass inside to Locken. Off the backboard. Shot no good, foul.
I think they're going to call that on the floor. They will. Yeah, it was right when that pass went in, Locken got kind of jumped at. They went for the double team because Locken had the mismatch. Foul was called right after the pass, so we won't get free throws. But after this inbound, Cincinnati will be shooting for the rest of the half with Oklahoma at 6 fouls.
Soares checks in for the Sooners. Lukosius got it in to Reynolds. He's backing down Hugley. No space for a shot. Thomas takes the screen from him. Pull-up jumper. That one good. Dede Thomas.
Really good high jump step. Pull through there to get to the middle of the lane. Wide open jump shot there right at the Big 12 logo too.
Thomas got his first points of the night. McCullum, turnaround jumper, sinks it. Tough shot with Dede Thomas draped in his face. Lukosius and Dede will break the press. Running things a little bit slower than they did earlier. Trying to get a rhythm going on offense. Cutting Lukosius, wing 3. Knocked down!
That was really good off-ball movement. Seamus Lukosius, 2 off-ball screens to get him wide open, was able to drain it. Like I said, keep shooting those, they're gonna fall eventually. Another good look from 3, and that one finally went through.
Darthur drive, stopped in his tracks, swing three, Hugley, no good. Simas Lukosius rebound. He's been all over the boards tonight. Lukosius faked another three, pass it off, lock in, swing pass down low, dunk by Reynolds.
Timeout, Oklahoma. Jamil Reynolds is powerful under the basket. I honestly thought it was one too many passes from Lock-in, but that one final pass to Reynolds, and he exploded up to be able to slam it home. Pull that lead back out to 4 now. Hasn't been much more than 4 today.
You mentioned the power of Jamil Reynolds. 6'11", 275. I mean, absolute monster of a man right there. Athletic freak. I mean, you cannot give him that much space down low. He's going to punch it in over you.
He looks like he could go play defensive end as well if he wanted to. And with how strong and powerful and explosive he is, you wouldn't be all that surprised if you saw him as an edge rusher.
Sooners needed to take a timeout if the Bearcats quickly regained their lead. They lead 20-16. About 5.5 minutes to go before we reach the halftime.
Yeah, put an end to that bad run of offense for Cincinnati. Finally finding ways to make baskets. 3 of your last 3 now is Cincinnati. That's what we were saying earlier, you know, just you gotta find ways to make shots. They're gonna fall eventually. With how many you missed early, they're gonna fall eventually. And you finally got them to fall.
Darthur drives right side, fakes, gets Lukosius in the air, pass almost intercepted by Thomas. Instead, McCullum gets it over his head. Kick, Suarez, drive, right side, bounces off of John Newman, gets the foul call, finishes the and one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty clear clip there, the and one for Oklahoma. Did look like there was a missed travel call down below. Thought there was a little bit of a two-step and a shuffle. I think they're, yeah, that was, I mean, Newman got him on the hip. No surprise on that. Cincinnati's still ahead.
Suarez has got 5 already tonight, chance to make it 6.
Also back in for Oklahoma, 45 with
Northweather comes back in for the Sooners. Suarez, free throw, good. Sooners still shooting 100% from the free throw line. Keeping up with their light press. Bearcats haven't really had many issues with that yet. Thomas working on Owe. High pass to Reynolds. He has it up top. Swings back to Day Thomas. Takes the screen. Fake the jumper and kick to Reynolds!
Once again, Reynolds made that cut. You saw him in the basket. You knew something was going to happen. He's able to slam that home.
What a pass by Day Thomas to the cutting Jamil Reynolds. Punched it in. Fans loud now as McCullum puts a silencer on him. Short jumper's good.
Yeah, a good runner there by McCullough. They kind of needed that to quiet down the crowd. The crowd gets going real easily, and it's not hard to get going when Jamil Reynolds is doing stuff like that.
Simas, doubled, kick, Newman, corner, drives, baseline, hanging layup, doesn't get the call, out of bounds off of the hands of Rivaldo Suarez. Bearcats basketball.
That has been the thing today. I feel like the refs have actually done somewhat of a good job of not using their whistles too much, because there has been a lot of kind of straight up defensive plays that really shouldn't be called fouls, and they haven't been called fouls today, as much as the crowd's going to disagree with it. It's happened on both ends.
Lukosius will inbound on the E of Bearcats. Gets it in, Jizzle James thought he might take the 3 for a second, had the space to do it. Instead, gives it up to Josh Reed. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Reed rises up and is fouled.
If he was playing hockey, he'd get 2 for embellishment right there. I did not think he got hit. He sold that and is going to go to the line for 3 after the media break.
Give that man an Oscar, an Emmy, a Grammy, whatever you want to give him. He sold that call. Porter Moser is not happy about it at all.
I don't think he got touched, in all honesty. I think the ball got hit and Reed kind of flailed with it. Truly, if they were allowed to review things like that, there's a chance you review that and see it, and you could give him one of the flopping technicals even. But, hey, it worked that time.
Bearcats lead 22-21, 3:52 left to go in the first half. Bearcats have the bonus. Still winning the rebounding battle, 17-14. 7 offensive rebounds in the first half with still 4 minutes to play is absurd.
Yeah, your second chance points are one of the reasons why you've led for the majority of the half. You're still ahead by a point right here, but being able to do those things, kind of the gritty, the tough things, that's how we saw, that's how you won that ball game on Tuesday. You know that's how you're going to have, what you're going to have to do to win games in this conference. And being able to do that with, I mean, I wouldn't say with ease, but doing it very well. It's been a good case for the Bearcats.
Simas Lukoc is leading the Bearcats with 10 points tonight, already more than a season average of just under 9. It was a big-time transfer get from Butler, number 61 rated transfer by ESPN. Bearcats were able to scoop him up, and he's played well. 7 starts on the year, making an impact tonight, knocking down threes.
He's worn that leg sleeve ever since he got hit by that car and was out for a couple games. He's been wearing that leg sleeve ever since. Was wondering if we were going to see him without it, because at first I thought he was still wearing that compression sleeve on his leg because he was hurt, but still he's completely fine now. It seems like it's just something that he feels comfortable wearing at this point.
He's kind of taken over in that three-point shooting volume since the loss of C.J. Fredick, filling that void left by that injury. Lukoc has stepped up big time, knocking down threes. He's not the only Bearcat to step up. You mentioned Josh Reed pregame. He's hit some threes, some big-time threes. Skillings has started developing as a shooter more. John Newman has taken his shots. I mean, even Victor Locken, a guy none of us expected to be a shooter this season, has evolved his game into having that ability to knock down a three.
You saw him shoot a couple last year. I think it was 11 maybe attempts in the whole season. I think it was about 4 for 11. So you didn't really see him do it much, but then this year it's become a legitimate part of his game, not more of a novelty item that you'll see in blowouts or in weird situations where he's wide open for too long. It's a thing where he'll come off a screen and he'll shoot that three, and you'll be confident about him shooting that three as well. It's been really good for the Bearcats to be able to have that, because also teams have had to defend Victor Locken a whole lot differently because they have to go respect that three-point shot.
Reed with his first free throw, knocks it down. First one out of that timeout.
I always think it's funny when you shoot 3 free throws for Cincinnati and they make them all, and the student section does the point thing and they do it 3 times. It just doesn't look right.
We'll see if Reed makes them do that, as he has his third opportunity now. And back iron's no good.
Hey, making 2 was good enough.
May I say announcer jinx, perhaps?
Possibly.
Happens to all of us. McCullum working on Jizzle James. Kicks Northweather. Swing it. Soares working on Reed. Finds no space whatsoever. 8 seconds on the shot clock. McCullum gets past Reed. That shot just bounces off front rim. McCullum got the foul call. He'll shoot 2.
There really wasn't a great defensive play by Reed there. Josh he had positioning, and then it almost looks like he purposely lost positioning, and then he was chasing, and a lot of times when you chase like that, you're going to run through them, and it was a very clear foul there. Because of that, I felt like he had positioning pretty well like right away, but, you know, oh well.
McCullum's first shot is good.
Oklahoma still hasn't missed a free throw either.
McCollum hit the second. Jizzle James has it. Gets across half court. Under 3.5 to play now. James trips. Kept his dribble as he fell. Impressive job. Now lob pass to Bendego, soaring through and slamming it home.
That's the first time they've thrown the lob today. I felt like it's been open a few times today. Finally being able to take advantage of that. And, you know, there's not many guys that are touching that ball way up there. That's the advantage of it as well.
Northweather tries to answer back with a three. No good, but tipped back out into the hands of Uzan. Milos Uzan drives on Lukosha. Stopped in his tracks. Fans wanted to travel. Owe, wing, gets past Reed. Sent back by Bendego after it kind of already hit the side of the backboard.
That was a lot of the same as the last possession that ended in a Josh Reed foul as well. He kind of lost positioning and was chasing. And then once he was chasing, he ran right through the guy, through his back.
Owe will shoot two at the line. He's only got 2 points tonight.
Did think Oklahoma had a little bit of a case to try to call a goaltend there. It's not something you can review at this point in the ball game, but there was a chance. I don't think it did happen, but it was at least something you could have looked at.
The 6'5" sophomore, he started all 17 games for the Sooners, was a top 80 prospect in the 2022 class, making an impact this year and making an impact at the line. He knocks down both of them, keeping the Sooners 100% from the free throw line.
That's what's keeping them in this ball game. I mean,
they've hit 9 of 9 from the free throw line. 9 of their 25.
9 of their 25.
James has it. Kick Skilling's corner. Thought about rising up. He doesn't. Instead, drive, spins, backboard, shot no good. Rebound, Jalen Moore. Away, take a wing three. Is blocked by Locken. Not every day you see that. James has it. 2-on-1. Short arms the layup. They went out of bounds.
Jizzle was standing on the baseline after his missed layup. Ball was loose. He jumped up and grabbed it, and he landed in bounds, but it doesn't matter because he jumped from the baseline.
I applaud the effort of Jizzle James on that one.
It looked like he was trying to fake it to get away with it, and then was like, man, they caught me.
McCollum, hezzy step drive, left scoop layup is good. Inbound pass, a little bit awkward. It was corralled by Lukosius eventually. Skilling's baseline drive, takes a hard fall, but gets the foul.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with that inbound. It got deflected. It was a little careless of an inbound pass down on the defensive end, and we were able to keep it in bounds, and Skilling's kind of got hammered when he went up right there.
Dan Skilling's first free throw is front rim, no good.
Skilling's missed a pair with 3 seconds to play on Tuesday, and he did do well not letting that affect him, because then he came out and hit a layup in overtime to give Cincinnati the lead that ultimately stayed to win it. But free throws, it's been a top to bottom issue for the Bearcats so far this season. And today, 5 for 8, really not too bad compared to what it is at times.
He knocked down the second and tied the game at 27. Minute and a half to play. McCollum, good sidestep three. Way off. And they're going to call out of bounds off of Aziz Bendego.
Rebounders have been good today, but the rebounders have had butterfingers today.
It'll be inbounded by Suarez.
They showed the replay in-house, and ball don't lie moment right there.
Stolen by Dede. He loses it on the drive. Might have been off his knee. Owe takes it full court, blocked by Locken. Now blocked by Bandego. What a sequence.
Ooh, they called that a goaltend. Bandego pinned that. Yeah. They're gonna go check. They are gonna look at it. Honestly, didn't know they were at a point that they could look at it. Thought it was just the second half. I don't know if that ball hit the backboard before it got pinned. Bandego definitely thought.
It's going to be a close
They didn't put any points up on the board.
It's going to be a tough call for the referees to make. Maybe one of those calls, they go with how they called it on the floor.
So they will call it a goaltend.
Fans not happy. I think that call could have gone either way. To be honest, it's a tough call to make live as that happens. Nonetheless, an incredible sequence and effort by the Bearcats on that one. Locken and Bandego almost with them back-to-back stuffs.
Yeah, a couple of blocks there again.
Just over a minute to play. Sooners lead by 2. It's Dede Thomas. Lukosius comes off the screen. Wing 3, knocked down! Lukosius, his third.
Seamus Lukosius is the only person who's hit a 3 for Cincinnati today. And crowd's getting loud, trying to send us into halftime with the lead.
Fans on their feet. Moore, hop, step, drive, banks it in. 30 seconds to go.
You have to use it or lose it if you want it here.
Seamas, heat check 3. No good. Rebound goes to Locken. Wanted to pass it out. He's doubled, and they'll catch Jalen Moore for a foul. Moore not happy about it. That's going to be his third foul, and he's going to take a seat on the bench.
That's the biggest thing with that foul call. It's not even the foul call itself, it's the fact that it's his third of them. Cincinnati is yet to lead at halftime in a conference game.
Speaks to the levels of how good this team is in the second half, coming away with a few of those big wins.
Yeah, you haven't led at halftime, and you've led in the final minute of all 4 conference games so far this season.
Victor Locken will shoot 2 as the Bearcats are in the bonus. Potentially 2. Has to make the first. He's 0 for 1 on the night, and he does make the first. Make that 1 for 2, and he'll have his second opportunity. Chance to take the lead with 26.2 to go. Second one is back iron, no good. Northweather gets the rebound. And now we can assume the Sooners will hold for the last shot as the shot clock is off. McCollum dribbling timeout. Directing his teammates in traffic. Give it to Owe, 6 seconds, spin. Shot no good. Fight for the rebound.
I think Aziz was out of bounds when he tipped that back in.
Refs are probably going to have to review this for clock.
Oh, they're going to give it to Cincinnati.
They're going to give it to the Bearcats.
I thought Bandego was out of bounds.
I thought so as well. So
Wes Miller uses use it or lose it. He's got 1.6 seconds to go the length of the floor. You're probably going to pass it one dribble and throw up a half-court shot to try to go to the break with a lead.
Draw up some type of play, potentially scheme somebody open.
Yeah, get a screen or something on the ball, off the ball. See if you can get ball to an open man. At least give him a look.
Yeah, 1.5 is plenty of time to get up a shot, at least an opportunity for a heave to go in.
You got like 2 dribbles maybe.
If not, the Bearcats will still not have a lead at a halftime conference game, as it'll be tied at 31. Sooners had to be careful to not foul on the inbound attempt, as the Bearcats would get shots if they do. Four guys lined up on the left side of the half-court line. It's Anthony Newman, Lukosius, and Locken on that side.
I thought that was C.J. Anthony in there. I was like, no, that might just be Jizzle James. C.J. Anthony might be their best half-court shooter, honestly.
Thomas inbound, Lukosius falling out of bounds, and that one's not going to count for Locken. Time runs out. Bearcats 31, Sooners 31 at halftime.
Not a bad half of basketball. Offenses didn't go early and then ended up kind of figuring it out as the half went along. And, you know, there really wasn't much to complain about there, truly. So you kind of like what you saw. You have things that you got to improve on, but you said it, the fact that Cincinnati's played really well in the second half this season. And that's kind of what you're going to need to hang your hat on here, is make whatever adjustments you need in the locker room for halftime and come out and fix things and find a way to go win this basketball game.
Yeah, I mean, I think what really has to pick up is the offense. You look at these shooting percentages, 33% from the field for Cincinnati, 39% for Oklahoma. That's not where you want it to be at all.
Yeah, I mean, truly, you're kind of at a point where you just got to shoot yourself out of what would be a slump here and just shoot your way into a better shooting percentage. We said with the threes, a lot of good looks from 3, but you're only 3 of 13. But with those good looks, with those open opportunities, you're going to be able to hit some of them. They're going to be able to make these shots. They're going to get them to fall here and there. And, you know, that's what you're worried about at this specific point, is when are they going to fall? I mean, it's got to happen sooner rather than later, in all honesty.
I mean, that's about what they have to hope for. You got to start hitting these shots. The Bearcats knocked down 3 threes, all of them coming from Simas Lukosius. He's leading the team in scoring with 13. Other than that, the rest of the team is 0 for 10.
Yeah, that's not good to look at. I mean, there's no way around it. It's not a pretty number. But you're to be able to win this ball game, you're probably gonna have to find a way to improve that number. Find a way to make it not quite as ugly of a shooting percentage. And obviously you gotta make shots to score points to win the ball game. But your defense has played well enough to where you don't need a ton of points. It feels like you're going to be able to win with a few less points than what you're averaging and what you're used to. So that is a good part of this ball game, and the defense kind of stayed consistent through that half. I thought the defense was good the whole time, and that was one of those things that you really liked to see for the whole 20, and it didn't just kind of go for parts of the 20. We'll take a quick break here. Clock still hasn't started for halftime. I think they're going to probably put 10 on and run it here at some point, but clock still hasn't started at halftime. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and recap a little more on the half and talk about what needs to happen as we go through the second half. Halftime in Cincinnati, 31-all. Bearcats and Sooners. You're listening to Bearcat Basketball.
You've seen him on America's Got Talent. Steve Harvey's forever young, and he continues to be a favorite act at NBA and NCAA halftime shows. He uses no safeties, no gimmicks, no nets, performing the death-defying Tower of Chairs and celebrating 65 years of amazing tour. He is America's oldest daredevil acrobat. Please welcome the amazing Sladak.
Yeah, too, actually. Want to know how this guy figured out he could do this?
Yeah, how do you figure out? Yeah, just like playing around with chairs to figure it out. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong.
It is. It's sick. But like, when are you like, oh, I can climb chairs?
I mean, if he falls, it's gonna hurt like hell. He's not attached to anything. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing live? I just let that cow go. curious how he gets down.
I was just thinking that. Does he just like jump and then push the tower over?
This guy's not young either. He's an older guy.
They making you stick around for the women's game too?
Yeah, I'm
You're doing all, yeah.
I'm the only intern here today, so Swain's doing tennis today because they just started. So he's at the. It's indoors though.
I was gonna
so,
say, where is
they're
that?
playing
Yeah.
somewhere like on the east side a little bit. I think it's Latour. I don't remember exactly where it is.
When
No, it's west side. I'm sorry.
When do they end up going outside? Is there like a day where they just?
I think like the end of February they're supposed to. I bet I know he does. He climbs down like a ladder. He's gonna throw off the chair. Climb down like a ladder.
I guess I never walked down. Like I never walked down there kind of thing, but still. I think it's funny. There's because I usually walk. I walk.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the amazing Slattery! He's truly amazing. America's oldest daredevil acrobat. Let's keep him going for the one and only amazing Slattery.
Let me go get a water real quick and we'll go.
All right, Bearcat fans, it's time for Sink That Shot. All thanks to our friends here at Chick-fil-A. I'm down here with Justin. He's got 3 chances to make it from half court. If he gets it done, he's going home with Chick-fil-A for an entire year. Justin, are you ready?
Ready.
All right, Fifth Third Arena, let's get loud in 3, 2, 1. Start shooting, Justin. Can he make it? Oh, he's so close. He's got 2 more chances. So close again. 3rd time's the charm. Oh, Justin, you're not going home empty-handed though. All thanks to our friends at Chick-fil-A. You're still getting something awesome. Thanks again for playing. Can I get a let's go Bearcats?
Let's go Bearcats. Welcome back to the court, our Cincinnati Bearcats.
You good?
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Bearcats Sports Radio here at Fifth Third Arena. We're Cincinnati Bearcats and Oklahoma Sooners are tied at 31 apiece here at halftime. For your Bearcats, they are shooting 33% from the field and 23% from beyond the arc, shooting 3 for 13 and also shooting 60% from the charity stripe, which has been a problem all year for the Bearcats. Last game, they shot 53% from the field, but then 52% from the charity stripe. The free throws seem to be the Bearcats' kryptonite here all season long. And for the Sooners, they're shooting 39%, shooting 10 for 26, and shooting 25% from beyond the arc. 1 minute left to go before second half begins. Preston, what is something that stood out to you in the first half?
The defensive play down low especially. Offensive rebounding was really good too. Just kind of being able to enforce your will down low and being able to kind of force your way into plays that you don't have as much business being in, and being able to go through and do what you need to do. Not letting other people control you down low has really been a big thing for Cincinnati today. And I think this game, with how tight it is, it's going to be, maybe you get a couple more second chance points, and then that's going to be the way you're going to be able to win this ball game. And I don't think there's a lot to write home about offensively from that first half, but I think what you did defensively outweighs anything you did bad offensively. So everything's good as far as your whole body of work in that first half.
You mentioned second chance points. The Bearcats had 10 second chance points compared to the Sooners' is 4 second chance points in the first half. Second half about to begin momentarily.
We'll need to kind of clean things up a little bit, especially when it comes to the game moving fast. Once the game gets fast, it feels like you're making a whole lot more unforced errors, a whole lot more mistakes than what you need to be making, truly. And so if you're the Bearcats, you're trying to fix that. Only 4 turnovers in that first half, which is good, but you had a couple of bad shots late in shot clocks that, it's not a turnover as stats-wise, but it's pretty much a turnover.
So the Sooners will begin with the ball, begin the second half. With the Milos Uzan inbounding it to Javian McCollum as he crosses half court, guarded by Day Thomas. He's getting screened by Godwin, top of the key. This is Uzan. Uzan's going to give it off to McCollum. McCollum is going to drive in, dishes off to Godwin. Godwin looking, deflected. This is going to be stolen by John Newman. Newman's going to drive in, layup off the glass, is up, and it's good. And the Bearcats have an early basket here in the second half.
You got to start off the right way if you're Cincinnati. Being able to get a steal off the first defensive possession, being able to go to the other end, and easy layup for Newman. Good Euro step on there too.
Uzan has it guarded heavily by Newman. Uzan's going to drive and gives off McCollum. His three-pointer's up from the right wing, and it's no good. Rebound secured by Newman. He ends up with it. Bearcats going the other way. Day Thomas has it. He's going to stop at the left wing. Picks up his dribble, gives off to Bandego. Top of the key. Bandego is going to give it to Newman in front of the Bearcats bench. 16 left on the play clock. Lock-in has it. He's going to give it off to Lukashis. Lukashis top of the key, gives it to Day Thomas. 10 seconds left. They're going to go underneath the Lock-in at the post. Lock-in gives it off to Newman. He's thought about three. He's going to drive in, step back. Nope, picks up his dribble underneath. It's going to be Bandego at the post. He blows it up, and it's no good. A rebound secured by Jalen Moore, and the Sooners have it going the other way. Uzan. He has it. He's going to drive in, picks up his dribble. To the baseline, gives off to Moore. Gives it right back to Uzan. 15 left on the play clock. 18:28 left to go in the second half. Owe has it, loses it. 8 seconds left on the play clock. Can't pick up his dribble. Fans wanting to travel. Won't get it. Another travel that was not called. 1 left on the play clock. And the Sooners will not get a shot. Great defense by the Bearcats to open it up the second half.
The play that the fans really wanted to travel on was not a travel. It was just a real like dramatic step with the non-pivot foot. So it did kind of look like it was a travel, but he had his pivot down, and it was a clean call, like a clean play, and they didn't call anything, but definitely did not look correct.
This crowd's been wanting a lot of calls this game, but the refs have been letting them play for most of the time. Lukash's head's at the right wing. He's guarded by McCollum, gets a screen by Bandego. He's going to drive an alley-oop to Bandego, and he can't get it, but a foul is called. That will send Bandego to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, and those high passes, trying to get the lobs and just anything way up there. Bandego is the biggest guy on the floor. He's going to be able to go up and get it. You wish he could have finished, but he did kind of get hit down low as he went up, so you're not too worried about it. You just got to go hit the free throws.
Previously, looks like Bandego has had miscommunication with those alley-oops. This one he gets fouled on, he misses the first free throw. Score is 33-31, Bearcats up, 17:57 left to go in the game. Bearcats shooting 6 of 11 from the charity stripe. Bandego's second free throw is up. It's nothing but net. Bearcats with a 3-point lead.
Split trip to the line, not too bad. You wish you had them both, but you're not going to complain all too much.
It's a close game. Those missed free throws could come back to haunt you. We'll see if they do. Uzan has it to left wing. 15 on the play clock, guarded heavily by Newman. Uzan picks up the dribbles and got up to Owe. Owe in the corner is going to drive in baseline, guard by Lukash, throws up the floaters up, and it's nothing but net. Ortega Owe with the basket. Lukash has it. He's going to get off the lock on top of the key. Thomas underneath and go Bandego, guarded by Hughley. Underneath, lock-in, layup off the glass, it's good, but then call a travel on Victor Lock-in. That will negate the basket and give the ball right back to the Sooners.
He traveled, but they called it late. He traveled and then went up with it, and they called the travel after he, like way after he did it. So he definitely did do it. It just didn't look right for when they called it.
A late call. Give the Sooners the ball. Hughley has it, top of the key. Bandego's going to drop on him. Going to give him a shot, but he's not going to take it. McCollum has it and give the Owe. Owe's three-pointer is up. Foul called. No good, but Owe will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws. Foul committed. Looks like by John Newman III.
I think it was Seamus Lukosius. Lukosius basically gave him a high five when he shot that ball.
Sooners are 9 of 9 from the free throw line today. On the year, they shoot 76%, which is second in the Big 12.
It's the second 3-shot foul today, because Josh Reed got one in the first half too.
I don't believe there was one for the TCU or Texas game. Owe shoots 71% from the free throw line this year. Tonight he has 6 points, 2 for 2 from the line, make it 3 for 3 from the line.
This has been a very even game as this one's gone along for the full first 23 minutes of it now.
Tied at 34 apiece here in the second half, 17:04 left to go. Owe's second free throw is up and is good, and that'll give the Sooners a 1-point lead. Owe, a sophomore from Newark, New Jersey. He's had double-digit scoring in 14 of his last 17 games as he connects on the third free throw. Thomas has it. Crosses half court, standing at the C logo. It's guarded by Uzan. So go right. So go at the blocks and give it off to Newman. Drives in, and a foul is called on the floor, so Bearcats will inbound it underneath the basket.
I think that's what Cincinnati's going to have to start doing if the shots aren't falling, is just try to get the ball to the rim. Go get your trip to the free throw line. Go try to get an easy shot. Because if the shots aren't falling, maybe a trip to the free throw line is going to change that.
Newman with an easy flush home. Looks like Owe made a foul, but Newman gets the easy flush, and that ties the game up at 36 apiece. 16:36 left to go. Uzan has it. He's guarded heavily by Newman. He's at the right wing, picks up his dribble. He's going to give it to Hughley. Hughley's going to drive in baseline, throws off the glass, and that one falls in. John Hughley wanted a foul call, but they're not going to get it. Bearcats in transition. Newman, Lukash's corner three-pointer is up. No good. Rebound secured by Jalen Moore, but ends up in the hands of Jamie McCollum as he crosses half court. McCollum has it. He thought about it. He's going to get it off to Hughley. Hughley's going to give it right back to McCollum. McCollum's going to drive in baseline, throws it up. Pass to Uzan, 13 left on the play clock. Uzan alley-oop to Moore. He can't finish, but Sooners get the ball right back. Owe, corner, three-pointers up, and it is good to give the Sooners a 5-point lead. And Wes Miller will call a timeout to talk things over with the Bearcats.
Porter Mosier was all over that lead ref there for about 3 possessions in a row. He thought when John Newman got that dunk that Newman pushed off, and then he wanted a foul on this end the next possession for something else. And then he wanted a foul again on this end after the dunk went up and got blocked from behind. He was real animated with that lead ref down here. But, yeah, that dunk getting blocked ultimately was good for Oklahoma because they were able to swing it around, get an open three, an open look, and give themselves a 5-point lead. And that's, I mean, their biggest lead of the day at 5. It's been a tight game. It's only gone 5 points either way at any point. So it's been a real close game. They've not been, neither team's been able to pull away. And if you're Cincinnati, you got to be thinking about that right now. And, hey, you got to go get a bucket.
It's a 5-point game in this gauntlet of a conference, Big 12 basketball. Anything can happen at any given moment. Bearcats are up 41-36, 15:50 left to go. We'll be right back after this short break. Let me welcome you back to Fifth Third Arena in this 7th all-time matchup between the Sooners and the Bearcats, in which Bearcats lead the all-time series 4-2, including 2-0 here in the Queen City. This matchup, the Bearcats' 5th straight ranked opponent. The longest streak since taking on a 6 in a row in 1993-94 as a part of the Great Midwest Conference, and looks like that streak will go to 6 when they head to Lawrence in 2 days and play the Kansas Jayhawks. Sooners up 41-36, 15:42 left to go in the game. Skillings checks in. He has the ball top of the key. Skillings guarded by Rivaldo Soares, gives off the cautious at the right wing. He's going to give the lock-in. He loses it, but he regains possession. 10 left on the play clock. Lock-in has it, pick up his dribble, gives it to Thomas. 6 on the play clock. Thomas pull-up jumper from the free throw line. It's no good. Fight for rebound ends up in the hands of Soares, and the Sooners have it going the other way with it.
Big possession here for Oklahoma. If you can get it make here, you're really starting to pull away a bit.
Uzan has it, and give it to Soares, top of the key, 12 left on the play clock. Guarded by Lukash, just gets backed up. Uzan. Uzan guarded by Thomas. 5 seconds left in the play clock. They have to do something. Uzan. So think about it. He's going to do a Hail Mary three-pointer. In and out. Rebounded, secured by Dan Skillings and the Bearcats.
TCU makes that on Tuesday.
Thomas is going to drive and layup off the glass. Hierarchy is good. Count it, and one. Day Thomas driving in with a ton of confidence and poise. And he'll go to the line for a potential three-point play.
Day drives with purpose every single time, and you can tell he knows he's getting to the basket somehow. He doesn't necessarily know how, but he's going to get there. And Day did just that right there. Was able to hit the and one. Couldn't hear the whistle. It wasn't a strong whistle from that ref, so I didn't hear it at first. And I was like, well, there's no way you're not getting a foul call on that. But did get a foul call, and we'll go to the line for a three-point play.
We mentioned Day Thomas driving with purpose. He is probably the smallest player on the court right now, but drives in like he's a forward. Free throw is up, and it's no good. Cannot complete the three-point play.
7 for 13 now from the line at Cincinnati.
Three-point game. Sooners up 41-38. Soros has it. He's going to give it up to Hughley. Hughley gives it to Uzan, top of the key. Uzan is going to drive in, layup, reverse layup. It's good. That one falls in. Milos Uzan. Uzan has his first points of the night. Reynolds has it to Newman in front of the Bearcats bench. Newman's going to pull up from the elbow. High arcing, no good. Rebounded by Uzan and the Sooners. 14 minutes left to go in this ball game. Sooners up by 5. Uzan has it, guarded by Newman. And fouls me called on John Newman.
It's because he reached across with that left arm. If he stayed with just his right arm and didn't reach across, he's not getting a foul call, and that's going to be a loose ball. But the second he reached across the body, you can't not call it.
That'll be Newman's second foul of the game as Jizzle James and Josh Reed check in for Day Thomas and Lukosius. Otega Owe will inbound for the Sooners. And Milos Uzan will bring up the ball. 15 left on the shot clock. Soros has it. Beyond the arc, gives it to Hughley. Hughley, who wants to give it a pass. So hand off to Soros. Soros, 4 seconds left, has to do something. Hughley underneath at the post. So driving on Reynolds, throws up the shot. No good, rebounded, secured by John Newman III.
Good defensive possession for Cincinnati.
Still a 5-point game. Newman has it. He's going to get it off the Reynolds at the elbow. Reynolds gives the Skillings, top of the key. Gets a screen by Reynolds. Now he's double teaming and give it to Jizzle James. Second half catalyst will swing at the Newman. 8 left on the play clock. Bearcats have to do something. Reed has it beyond the yard. Gives it to Jizzle. Jizzle, he's going to drive in. This is off Newman in the corner. His three-pointer. He lets it fly, and it's good. John Newman III.
It felt like you were one pass away that whole possession, and then finally got the one pass you needed. Was able to hit a three at the end of the shot clock.
Fifth third comes alive. Hughley has at the top of the key to hand it off to Soros, guarded by Josh Reed. He's going to drive in. This is off. That's going to be Darth Third. Puts up a floater. It's good. Count it, and one.
Again, you're getting that foul because you're chasing. Seems like every shooting foul that Cincinnati's committed, it's because you're chasing and you're trying to get in from behind. Need a little bit more discipline when it comes to that.
With Trey Darth Third, he gets his first basket of the night, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play. Darth Third, a transfer from Utah Valley, shooting 1 of 11 in his last 3 games, over 56 minutes of action. Free throw is no good. Fight for it. Ends up in the hands of Sam Godwin for the Sooners. McCollum throws up the floater. That one is good. Looks like he rolled his ankle. He's hobbling. Grimacing in some pain. Fish will stop the play.
Ends up being a 4-point possession for Oklahoma there with the miss and the rebound. That was really just a big man play by Sam Godwin. He got that ball and made sure he kept it. Pretty good play by him. But 4-point possession gives Oklahoma its largest lead of the day.
J.V. McCollum comes out. Milos Uzan will check in. Jizzle James has it. He crosses half court into the C logo. guarded by Darth Third, gives it the Bandego. He's going to swing at the Josh Reed at the right wing. Guarded by Owe, underneath, Skillings, and he's fouled. Hard contact, foul committed by Latrey Darth Third, and Skillings
he got him jumping, that's for sure.
got him jumping. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
They're not going to give him free throws on it. They're going to call it on the floor, which I think it was because he was under the basket. I think it was because of his positioning on the floor that they put it on the floor.
Bearcats will inbound it. Reed has it at the top of the key. The Skillings in front of the Bearcats bench. Skillings guarded by Darth Thurs and give it to Bandego, 10 left on the play clock. Jizzle has it. He's going to pull it from 3. That one is good. Jizzle James, the second half panelist. Can he get things going? His 5th point of the night.
That looked really good off his hand as well.
It looks like
I think one of the refs thought Cincinnati called a timeout. They didn't, but then it's a media break time anyways, so they're just taking the media break at that. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be charged a timeout here.
Wes Miller was a little frustrated and a little confused at the call, what the officials did by stopping play.
Because they did point at Cincinnati as if Wes Miller called a timeout. He did not.
At a moment in which the Bearcats could have found some momentum going to finish off the game, ends up in a media timeout. Sooners are up 47-44, 11:59 left to go. We'll be right back after this quick break. We welcome you back to cold Cincinnati, but inside Fifth Third Arena. It is very warm in this great matchup between the 15th ranked Sooners and your Cincinnati Bearcats. Sooners are up 47-44 with 11:59 left to go in this game, looking to win their second straight game here at Fifth Third Arena versus a ranked opponent.
Cincinnati was not charged with a timeout there. They did just go to a media timeout. So both teams still have 3 timeouts remaining.
Sooners will inbound the ball. This would be Owe. He's going to give it to Uzan. Uzan crosses half court, guarded by Jizzle James. He's going to give it to Godwin. Godwin goes underneath the Owe at the post, guarded by Josh Reed. This is going to be Darth Third. His three-pointer is up, and it's nothing but net. Latrey Darth Third.
Oklahoma's answered every time Cincinnati started to come back. the last few minutes. That one right there was big.
James has it, guarded by Jalen Moore. Bearcats swinging around, ends up in the hands of Skillings. It's a screen by Lockins. You have the Jizzle in front of the Bearcats bench, 12 left on the shot clock. Bandago comes up to set a screen. He has the top of the key. Reed has it, 5 left on the play clock. Bearcats have to do something. He has 3-pointers up, high arcing. Tried to go off the glasses, no good. Rebound secured by Jalen Moore.
He was fading away that whole time. It was not a great look.
Fourth shot was heavily contested. Sooners have it. Uzan at the logo. Gets a screen by Godwin. Uzan wants to go underneath, but no, he's going to get off the Owe, the top of the key. Owe back out to Uzan, guarded by James. Uzan's going to drive in. High arcing layup is no good. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay Sooners' ball. Fans are not happy with that call.
Wes wasn't happy with it either.
They show the replay on the Jumbotron. It looks like it may have went off Skillings' arm last. The Sooners will inbound it. He's going to give it to Godwin. Godwin gives it the dart third in the corner, guarded by Lukashis. So drive in, throws with a one-handed floater. It's no good. Rebound secured by Bandigo, but a foul will be called on Sam Godwin. That'll be Godwin's third foul of the night.
A lot going on in that possession. Oklahoma with 5 team fouls now too, so Cincinnati on the verge of free throws.
Sooners are showing a press. Just so James has it. James cross half court, and the press will go away. 10:35 left to go. Sooners up 50-44. James has the top of the key. Gets a screen by Locken. Goes underneath. Locken throws up the layup, and it's good. It's a swish. Victor Locken gets his 5th point of the night. That cuts the lead down to 4.
Need your big men to play well right here for Cincinnati if you're going to come back.
Uzan has it, guarded by James. And give it off to Moore, who swings it out to Hughley. Hughley, top of the key, picks up his dribble. He's going to hand off to Uzan, 10 left on the play clock. Uzan at the left wing, he's going to drive in. Picks up his dribble, all poked away, and it will stay Sooners' ball with 7 left to go on the shot clock.
I do think Bandago was the last to touch that. He was trying to sell it like he wasn't.
They show the replay again on the Jumbotron. It looks like
it wasn't very clear from that, but
Hughley in the corner, his 3-pointer, he lets it fly, and that one rattles in. John Hughley, the 4th, extends the Sooners' lead to 7 points.
Every time Cincinnati has a bit of momentum, Oklahoma's been able to shut it down.
Lukash in the corner underneath the Locken. Locken spin move, and a foul is called on the floor, so Bearcats will inbound it underneath the basket.
You don't mind Oklahoma picking up that foul either, just because now once you inbound, you'll be shooting the rest of the way.
That foul is on Javian McCollum, so he's in the game after what appeared to be an ankle injury a few moments ago. So Reed has it, he can get off the Bandago, he's going to swing it out to Jizzle James. 12 left on the play clock, Jizzle's going to drive in, goes behind the back. Jizzle, nice move, layup is short off the mark, rebounded by McCollum.
Just needed to be a little stronger on that. Looked like Lukosius was wide open under the basket too earlier in that possession.
McCollum drives in, scoop layup is good. Javian McCollum has his 14th point of the night.
Got to get something here.
And Coach Wes Miller is going to call a timeout with his squad down 55-46 with 9 minutes left to go in the second half. The Sooners have made their last 5 out of 7 field goals to extend their lead to 9 points.
You're still very much so in this ball game. It's not like it's out of hand by any means, but you're going to need to get on it quick. You're going to need. Feels like this is a very important possession in this game. Feels like you're going to need one here and work your way back into it.
And as you mentioned, every time you think the Bearcats are on the verge of knocking the door and coming back, the Sooners just respond every single time.
Hey, you're down 7 with 7 minutes left against TCU and ended up winning that ball game too. So you're really not all too worried at this point. but it's still something that you can't let it get much bigger, let the deficit get much bigger than what it is right now, or else it is going to get away from you.
Bearcats are down 9 with 9 minutes left to go. It's still very manageable to come back and win this game, but as you mentioned, you don't want the Sooners to get too big of a lead before it is too late. For the Sooners, their next game, they play rival Texas on the 23rd. I believe they lost their last 6 games against the Longhorns. Bearcats lost a heartbreaker to the Longhorns early in the year to begin their Big 12 home play. For the Bearcats, after this, their next matchup comes in Lawrence, Kansas, where they play the Kansas Jayhawks January 22nd. Bearcats down 9 minutes left to go in the game. We'll be right back after this short break. And we welcome you back to Bearcats Sports Radio here at Fifth Third Arena. Your Bearcats are trailing the Sooners 55-46. The Sooners in the second half are shooting 60% from the field and making 9 out of 15 baskets, including 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. The Bearcats in the second half are shooting 50%, shooting 6 of 12 from the field and 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. However, they find themselves in a hole down 9 points with 9 minutes to go in the game. Bearcats will inbound it. Lukashis has it. He's going to inbound it in front of the bench. Gives it to Day Thomas. 20 left on the play clock. Locken has it the right wing. He's going to give it to Bandego. Bandego gives it about to Lukashis. Lukashis is going to drive in, gives it off to Day Thomas. His 3-pointers up, high arcing, no good. But Lukashis has it. He's wide open. He'll try again. And that one falls in. Seamus Lukashis, 16 points tonight and 4 3-pointers.
You had to hit that shot after getting the offensive rebound, and Lukashis was wide open, and he's not going to miss many of those.
Bearcats need to stop right here on defense. Our third has it, gives it to Uzan. Gives up to Hughley. The top of the key guard by Bandega. Underneath, that one's deflected in the air, and it'll stay Sooners' ball, but 11 is left on the play clock.
That was a really important deflection by Aziz Bandego right there. He doesn't deflect that. That's wide open for a layup back door on the baseline, so that was a really good deflection.
Uzan will inbound and gives it off to Hughley, the fourth. Hughley hands off to McCollum. His pull-up jumper, baseline, rims in and out, rebounded. That's me, Jalen Moore. He puts it back up, and Bandego's hurt on the ground as Moore trips over Bandego, and the officials will stop play. Looks like Bandego almost had that rebound, but was knocked away by Jalen Moore. And the Sooners get another second chance possession. They capitalize on it.
He just didn't have his feet under him when he jumped. I don't think anyone even really hit him. He just jumped and kind of got off balance, and there was nothing below him.
It's like a hard fall on the court. He was ruled out, I believe, of the Baylor game with a back injury that was re-aggravated in the loss versus Texas. So Lukashis will inbound to Day Thomas. Bearcats down 8 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the ballgame.
That was a rebound that you wish you had if you get the ball back in a 6-point game.
And Thomas tried to oop it to Bandego. That one goes off the rim. Sooners with the fast break. McCollum has it guarded by Lukashis. He'll step back, and they're going to reset. Coach Porter Moser giving a play call. McCollum has it. He's going to dish it off. That's going to be Rivaldo Soares. Soares guarded by Lockett underneath, and that will be a turnover, Bearcats ball.
Yeah, nobody touched that. I think it was just miscommunication. Oklahoma player cut the opposite way than they thought he was going to cut, and nobody even tipped that. It just went straight out of bounds. 8-point game now. It's like how that game against TCU on Tuesday. It felt like for a while in that second half you were right on the edge. You were right there, but just couldn't quite get over that edge. And right now it feels like you're doing all you can to get over that edge, and Oklahoma's just preventing you from doing it.
So it's 7:43 left to go in the ball game. Preston, what do the Bearcats need to do? Besides being on the cusp of getting that lead and coming back in the game, what else do they need to do?
I mean, besides scoring more points than the other team, obviously, but they need to not give those second chance opportunities. That was a big one, was that second chance opportunity there that made it an 8-point game. And you need to get better looks offensively. A lot of the points you're getting are not the best looks even. And you can't have many empty possessions down the stretch here, because in an 8-point game, a couple empty possessions in a row, all of a sudden that balloons to a 14, 15-point deficit, and 15 points in 5 minutes, you just don't really see it happening. So being able to control the ball game on the glass, being able to find open shots, find good looks, and off-ball movement will be very important for the Bearcats in order to take away this 8-point deficit and be able to win this ball game. You got to get stops. It's been hard to get stops too.
We look at the Bearcats offense, 49 points, 16 of those points that come from Seamouse and Cautious. We look at a 6th man like Dan Skillings tonight, 1 point, 0 of 3 from the field. Josh Reed, more of a defensive specialist, has 2 points tonight. Dede Thomas, starting point guard, 4 points, shooting 2 of 7 from the field. And Victor Locken, 5 points with a quiet 2 of 5 from the field. Really the story on offense has been Seamouse and Cautious.
Yeah, the coaches has done a good job today, and he is the one guy that's been able to find himself open and find ways to get open and get good looks, but he just hasn't had enough of them really, and you can't make one player hit all your shots from deep and rely on one guy to get you back in the game. I think it's Dede hit 1-3, or Chisel hit 1-3, Dede hit 1-3. Other than that, it was just Seamus hitting threes. So you're gonna need production from other players. There hasn't been a group of guys that you felt like have really stepped out in this game.
We look at the Sooners' leading scorer is Javian McCollum with 14 points, shooting 5 of 11 from the floor, and right behind him his partner in crime, Otega Owe, with 12 points, shooting 3 of 7 from the field. Both teams dispersed from their huddles. 7:43 left to go in the game. Bearcats are down 57-49.
It's a pretty big possession in this game. Cincinnati will have it. You can go down there, go get some points, and make a stop. The crowd's gonna get into it. It doesn't take much to get the crowd into it, and I think once you get the crowd into it, it's gonna help you get back into this ball game a whole lot easier.
Dede Thomas crosses half court, 7:35 left to go in the game. Newman has it at the left wing. Newman guarded by Uzan. Newman's gonna swing out to Cautious. His 3-pointers up, high arcing, no good, rebounded by Otega Owe.
That's a good look. You don't mind that at all.
Milos Uzan crosses half court at the right wing, guarded by Newman to get up to McCollum, who swings it to Owe. Owe back up to McCollum, guarded by Dede Thomas. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Here comes Hughley with the screen. Let's see some dish underneath Hughley. Goes in, that one swatted away by Victor Locken.
Been a lot of blocks today. That's the 6th for Cincinnati. There's been a lot of work down on the defensive glass.
It will remain Sooners ball with 6 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Uzan steps back and he'll inbound it. He's going to give it off. That one's a bad pass. 4 seconds left. Hughley has it. Hughley's going to drive in, throws it the one-handed floater. No good. Booked up in the air and secured by John Newman III as he crosses half court. Gets it to Locken. Locken wants to go underneath to Reynolds. Reynolds double team. He's up to Newman from the Bearcats bench. Newman's going to drive in. He's at the elbow. Newman guarded by Owe. Puts his head down, throws off the glass, and that one rolls in.
I don't know if that one even hit the glass. I think he just put it in there and it rimmed in. That was a really difficult shot. And like I said, doesn't take much to get the crowd into it. One made basket right there, 6-point ball game, and everyone's on their feet.
Fans on their feet, as you mentioned. Bearcats need a stop. Uzan has it. He's guarded by Newman. He gives it off to Rivaldo. Suarez. It's a drive and unlocking. Stops at the baseline. He's going to get it off to McCollum. 6 left in the play clock. Guarded by Thomas. Cross-court pass. Owe. He's going to pull up from 3. No good. Rebounded by Victor Locken. Thomas crosses half court with a head of steam and going. Layup is up, and that one is off the glass. And now it's a 4-point game.
What a drive from Day-Day right there, too. Was funny. The second that 3 went in the air from Oklahoma, the place went silent, and then they waited for the rebound to react. But then quick offense right away. Quick outlet. Day-Day went down, made a man miss, spun around him, and that's, I mean, it looks like an acrobatic layup. That's like a normal layup for him. Like, that's what you want from him. And now it's back down to just a 4-point ball game.
Day-Day Thomas, such an athletic player, makes the hardest moves look very simple as the Sooners call a timeout. They have 2 left in this half. They have 0 points in the last 2 minutes and 24 seconds. They're clinging on for a 4-point lead, but the Bearcats are right behind them, clawing back.
That's been the thing about this Cincinnati team as conference play has started, is they're never really out of the game. Seems like, you're right on the edge the whole time. Even then, down 8 points, you're like, a couple of possessions that you feel like are almost inevitable to get, and you go and get them. You're never out of the ball game. Cincinnati's proved that again today, getting right back into things. Stop here can make you down only 1 possession.
Both teams disperse from their huddle. J.B. McCollum will inbound it. Fans in Fifth Third have something to cheer about. 5:52 left in the game. Sooners are up 57-53. McCollum has it, crosses half court, gets a screen by Godwin. McCollum's going to drive in, stops, fadeaway jumper. Nothing but net.
That's a good shot to give up.
Thomas has it, he crosses half court. Gets a screen by Lukashis at the left wing. Thomas in the corner, gives it off to Jamil Reynolds. Reynolds wide open, will step up, gets underneath Newman. That's a bad pass, but it's secured again by the Bearcats. This time ends up in the hands of the Sooners after it was stripped away by Jalen Moore. McCollum has it, 22 left in the shot clock. Gets a sign from head coach Porter Moser. Godwin will come up to set a screen on Newman. McCollum gets get it off to Owe. Owe guarded by Thomas. He loses it, poked away, but he regains possession. Moore has it to give to McCollum. 5 left in the play clock, guarded by Newman. Sooners have to do something. McCollum has it. He's going to drive in, layup off the glass. Nope, can't fall. Put back, no good. Rebounded by Jamil Reynolds. Bearcats down 6, 4:44 left to go. Thomas, and a foul will be called on the driving Thomas.
That tip back scares you. You don't want to let him even get any opportunities on the offensive glass at this point in the ball game. But now you're going to be shooting the rest of the way. That was the 7th team foul there. So if you're Cincinnati, Day-Day's done it a few times now. Just try to get the ball to the rim. Something's going to happen if you just try to get the ball to the rim.
Day-Day Thomas, a 81% free throw shooter on the year, had clutch free throws to secure the win versus TCU on Tuesday. Had a couple other clutch shots too in overtime and in the end of regulation.
Yeah, he hit that layup that I don't even really know how he got enough on it to get it up to the rim, but he made that layup to tie it to that ultimately send it to overtime and then hit the free throws to put the game away.
He always finds a way. His free throw is up. That one roused in. Cuts the lead, the deficit down to 5 points.
You need to make all your free throws down the stretch here. You pretty much need all of them. There was a stretch on Tuesday where I think it was Day-Day Thomas and Aziz Bandago made 4 in a row between the two of them. That was one of the main reasons you were able to get back into that ball game. Same idea here.
As Thomas makes a second free throw, fans on their feet at Fifth Third Arena. Bearcats desperately need a stop here on defense. McCollum has it at the logo, guarded by Thomas. Thomas steps off a little bit, and McCollum will get a screen by Moore. McCollum, he's gonna drive on a lock and layup. That one is out, but Jalen Moore's there with the putback to give the Sooners a 6-point lead.
You got it to roll out, and you couldn't get the rebound. Getting out-rebounded by a lot. And this is a Cincinnati team that's one of the better rebounding teams in the whole country.
Newman, his three-pointer's up from the left wing. Swish! John Newman makes it a 3-point deficit. 4 minutes left to go.
Big-time players make big-time plays. John Newman knows he needs to step up, and he does just that. We're down to just a one-possession game.
Newman had 20 points in the win versus TCU tonight. He has 12. McCollum has it. He gives it out to Moore. His three-pointer is up. No good. Rebound secured by Lukashis. The Bearcats have a chance to tie the game here with this possession.
Try to take it to the basket. Don't be married to a three-pointer. Perfect.
Lukashis drives in. A foul is called on Sam Godwin, so that'll send Lukashis to the line after the media timeout on the court.
He traveled there too, but the foul was called before the travel. I mean, it wasn't a very good drive, in all honesty, from Lukashis. He took the ball to the rim, but kind of tucked it like he was a running back and just kind of ran through there, and I think hoped he got fouled, and he did. So, I mean, I guess it worked. It wasn't the prettiest, but sure, not mad about it.
I think he heard you. He said, just drive in and a foul will be called. Bearcats are in the bonus.
He really did. He was up near the free throw line. He kind of just tucked it and went with it and got fouled. One thing we will have to look out for, if this game is tight like this, Cincinnati only has 3 team fouls right now. You're going to need to get that up, truly, if you have to go to late game fouling or whatnot. I wouldn't say you'd start giving fouls on purpose, but I mean, truly maybe to get your number up there, or at least don't be worried to not foul. Like, just go do it at times.
Guarantee that's probably one of the things Wes Miller's going over with this team right now, or at least the assistant told him, like, hey, 3 team fouls.
It's got to be in the back of your mind right now in case you need to get to a late game fouling and free throw scenario.
So on the driving Lukashis, the foul is on Sam Godwin. Godwin has 0 points tonight, 2 rebounds and assists, but that is his 4th foul, 1 more, and Godwin will foul out of the ball game.
He's made a couple of good plays, Godwin has, that don't show up on a stat sheet, but he's made some hustle plays and some grittier plays during this ball game, so he would be a big loss, especially too with how tight this game is. If this thing goes into an extra period, that'd be big.
Usually the backup big man for the Sooners. It's usually John Hughley, but Luke Northweather, the 6'11" redshirt freshman, has seen some action. He had 6 points in 8 minutes of action versus Kansas last week. Had some action in the game against West Virginia earlier in the week, but definitely something to keep in mind. Sooners, Sam Godwin in foul trouble.
We've seen Northweather a little bit today. It was kind of a defend size with size type idea there, really. Somewhat worked for him. It didn't work great, though.
Northweather saw 7 minutes of action in the first half.
Zemas will have a 1-and-1 here.
These free throws are very crucial, just like any other free throws in this ball game.
And if you made half of your misses right now, it's a tie ball game, so.
Bearcats are shooting 9 of 15 from the charity stripe, 60%. On the year, they shot 67% from the charity stripe, which is 13th in the Big 12.
Who's 14?
This is a great question.
I would not be wanting to watch them in late game scenarios. It's already frustrating enough watching Cincinnati shoot free throws late in games.
Lukashis gets the ball. This is a 1-and-1. His free throw's up. It's no good, but rebounded by Locken. He gives off to Thomas. Bearcats have a chance to tie this game up with a 3-pointer. Thomas has it. Drive in. Wraps around the basket. Locken. Pump fakes. Back step 3-pointer. No good, but rebounded by, poked away by Bandigo. Lukashis for the tie. And it's no good. 3 great attempts for the Bearcats. But Bearcats cannot get nothing falling.
That's a really smart rebounding play by Aziz Bandago to know to just tip it and not try to come down with it.
3 minutes left to go. Bearcats trail 61-58. Uzan has it at the left wing, and a foul's me called on Locken. It's not enough for the bonus, but that is the Bearcats' 4th team foul of the half.
Locken was really upset about something.
Fans reacting to Bandego receiving contact on the other end of the court in the previous possession. No call there. The Sooners will inbound it as Otega Owe checks in for Latrey Dart third. Owe tonight. 12 points for the Sooners. Uzan will inbound it. Gonna give it to Hughley, who catches it near the logo.
Cincinnati's inbound defense has been very good today too, actually.
They've been forcing the Sooners to the safety valves most of the time. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Uzan has it, once going underneath, drives in, blocked away by Bandego. He looks at him, smiles, and gives him a little nod. 7 left on the play clock as the Sooners will inbound it.
That's why he was such an important add to this team, is his rim defending there. And we've seen now 7 blocks for Cincinnati today.
Uzan once again, Bearcats. They force the Sooners to take a timeout on the inbounds. As you mentioned, the Bearcats' inbound defense has been magnificent today.
That felt like a really long 5 count, but yeah, it had to run a timeout there, and Oklahoma down to just 1 timeout. That's not the spot you want to have to use that timeout in, but you want to keep that possession. You have to keep that possession if you're Oklahoma, so being able to use that timeout there might benefit Cincinnati later in this, but still just 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. You can't waste any possession at this point in the ball game.
Sooners have 1 timeout left. Bearcats have 2. And when you mention the blocks, the Bearcats have 7 blocks. 5 by Locken, 2 by Bandego. As you mentioned, Bandego has been a huge add. He was the Western Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year at Utah Valley.
That was a Utah Valley team that, if they didn't lead the league or lead the country in blocks, they were pretty close to the top of the league in the top of the country in blocks. And Cincinnati lost to them in the NIT out there in Orem to end Cincinnati's season last year.
Sooners will inbound. Hughley has it. 5 left in play, going on Bandego off the glass and good. John Hughley. Tonight is 11 points. This is going to be stolen away by the Sooners.
Victor Locken didn't have his head up. He should have had an easy dunk there. It was a good move by Lukosius.
McCollum has it. Looks at Coach Moser gets a play call. McCollum, 15 left in play clock, and get up to Owe in the corner. Owe back up to McCollum, 10 on the play clock. McCollum goes top of the key, he's going to drive in, lay up off the glass, no good, but a put back by Otega Owe. Just like that, Sooners are up by 7 now.
He got up there too.
Locken underneath the Bandego in the corner. Lukasius, his 3-pointer is up, and it rims out, rebounded by Jalen Moore, but he loses it, and the Bearcats will gain possession.
That felt like a 3 that normally Seamus is going to hit. Just did not fall right there. Would have been a big one to kill this run from Oklahoma.
Bearcats are in a scoring drought, 2 minutes and 17 seconds without a point.
One of the worst times you could go on a scoring drought too. Get it to a 3-point game late and then forget how to score.
Lukasius gets it back, he's going to drive in, gets it off block, and his corner 3-pointer is up, and it's an air ball.
You could
Nothing
just tell
but
that
air.
was short.
And Otega Owe has he crossed half court. Bearcats are pressuring.
You might need to foul on this possession just to get your number up.
That's what Newman will do. He'll foul McCollum. Josh Reed will check in for Lukasius for defensive purposes. Bearcats down 7.
Only a minute 27 left also.
Skillings comes in for Bandego, so Bearcats rolling with a more smaller lineup. Uzan will inbound the ball right in front of the scorer's table. 1:27 left to go. Uzan gets it to Hughley. Hughley goes right back to Uzan. So hold the ball. It's working on Newman. Uzan drives in, dishes full court pass to Moore, gets it to McCollum. McCollum's going to drive in behind the back. Step back, shot is no good. Rebounded by Locken. 110, Bearcats have to push it. Thomas crosses half court, gives it to Newman. Newman's going to drive in, layup, and he's fouled by John Hughley. Newman will go to the line for 2 free throws.
That's fine. That's a good way to go there and get to the free throw line. Points with the clock shut off right now. That's what you want.
2 huge free throws upcoming for John Newman. Newman's first visit to the free throw line tonight. He has 12 points, shooting 5 of 8 from the field. His fifth third goes quiet for Newman's free throw attempt. His first one is good.
Needed that. Made half your misses right now. It's a 1-point ball game.
Bearcats trail 65-59, 1:05 left to go. Newman, second free throw is up, and it's good. That cuts the deficit to 5.
Bearcats will press here, obviously. 5-point game.
Owe has it and give it off to Uzan in the corner. Uzan double
Really
team.
good trap.
And
Oklahoma's going to have to run to their last timeout.
Sooners call their last timeout. They burn it as Uzan got trapped in the corner.
That's exactly what you want out of that press is you're trying to get the ball to the edges and use the sideline as your teammate. And they did exactly that right there. Got the ball to the edge, was able to trap it. It's a good thing for Oklahoma that they had a timeout because that was going to be a turnover of some sort if they didn't have a timeout.
1:01 left to go in the game. Sooners are up 65-60.
It's not over yet.
We see some crazy things in the Big 12. Anything can happen. With this lead, the Sooners are looking to go 3-2 in Big 12 play and get their 15th win on the year. For the Bearcats, every Big 12 game they played in has come down to the wire. They defeated BYU in their Big 12 opener by a score of 71-60 in Provo, Utah. They lose their heartbreaker to Texas. They lose another close battle to Baylor. They almost blew the game against CC, but they win that one for their first Big 12 home win. And here we go again at Fifth Third Arena. Sooners are up 5. There's another close battle between the two teams. Bearcats with 5 team fouls compared to the Sooners' 9. So one more by the Sooners. Bearcats will have double bonus. Sooners are shooting 42% from the field compared to the Bearcats' 38%. Both teams dispersed from their huddles. The Sooners will inbound the ball.
If you can get a turnover right off of the inbound here, that's going to be really big too because that's you're shortening everything. You're shortening the whole process.
So Otega Owe will inbound it right in front of the Bearcats bench.
Bandego will not let him throw it down court.
McCollum has it guarded heavily by Thomas. And a foul is called on Day Thomas. The 16th foul for the Bearcats, not enough for a bonus.
It didn't look intentional, but you don't mind it, truly.
So the Sooners will inbound it underneath the basket as Locken comes in for Bandego. And Rivaldo Soares comes in for Latradar third. Tega will inbound. So give it to McCollum, gives it right back to Owe. Owe to Moore. Moore across half court, gets it to McCollum. 50 seconds left. They're going to double team McCollum. Cross court pass to Soares. Soares.
We're too deep in the shot clock now to foul, I feel like.
12 left on the shot clock. McCollum has it, guarded by Josh Reed. This could be the ball game. McCollum driving in, dishes off to Soares. His three-pointer is up, and it's no good. Tipped up in the air, and it ends up in the hands of Reed, but a foul is called, and that will send the Bearcats to the line This would be a double bonus, so it would be 2 shots for the Bearcats.
And then again, you know, you don't hate that. You really don't. You weren't fouling, so you made them they took the shot clock all the way down. It was a decent look from 3, and then you fought for the rebound. You didn't get it cleanly, but you got the foul, and you're going to go shoot free throws. More points with the clock shut off. If you can make both of these, it's a one-possession ball game.
Josh Reed at the free throw line. Shoots 50% from the charity stripe this season. 2 big free throws to keep the Bearcats in the game. Fifth Third Arena goes silent. And the first free throw is up, and it is good.
Makes the second one. You're just a missed front end of a 1-and-1 away from being able to tie the ball game.
John Hughley checks in for Jalen Moore. Josh Reed gets the ball, takes a deep breath for his second free throw. And that one is good. Sooners now have a timeout, so they have to inbound it right here.
Net didn't even move on that.
Fifth Third getting loud. McCollum has it. It's going to be double team, gets it off to Uzan. Uzan gets it right back to McCollum. Just give it to Owe. Owe has it, and a foul by Day-Day Thomas. That'll be the team's 7th foul. Not enough for a bonus, so the Sooners will have to inbound it again.
Still 20 seconds on the game clock, too. I felt like they let that go. They were trying to trap to see if they could get a straight turnover first. I did feel like they let the possession go a little longer than you would have liked, but still 20 seconds on the clock.
Excuse me, that would be the 17th foul, so the Sooners will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. This will be Otego Owe, who shot 71% from the free throw line this year. 20 seconds left to go in the game. The Sooners are up 65-62. Substitutions by both teams for strategic purposes.
Missed front end here, and you can go down and tie it with a 3.
The ruckus gets loud. Owe. His free throw is up, and it's no good. Rebounded by Lockett. Thomas has it across half court. Bearcats down 3. And Coach Wes Miller is going to call a timeout to talk things over with the Bearcats. 14.7 left to go.
You've done exactly what you wanted to happen so far. Everything that's needed to happen has happened for you. You're giving yourself a chance.
You are.
I feel like you're probably going for a 3 here early. You're not forcing the shot, but you're going for a 3 early. Maybe then with a miss, if you can come down with it, go up, get the 2, and try to move through with it. But it feels like you're at a point in this ball game. You're at a point in this ball game where you need to shoot a 3. You're too late in it, and you have to shoot a 3. They just showed Kirk Herbstreit up on the board.
Because a little you see as the crowd reacts.
From here, from around the area, lives around here, so.
For the Bearcats, they're shooting 7 of 25 from beyond the arc.
Feels like you have to go to Seamus Lukosius here, too.
Yep.
You have
4-12 from 3 today. He had a lot of in and outs early in the game. There's Ethan on the Jumbotron. But this game going down to the wire. Per usual, just like any other Big 12 game here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's not easy. Never easy. Probably going double screen, off ball. I don't think you're going to inbound it to Lukosius, but there's a lot of movement that you can do, and I almost think they're probably going to be heavy on Lukosius too. So maybe you bet on them being more worried about Lukosius and try to get Day-Day open. Just whatever you think the easiest way to get an open look is. And, you know, for the most part, you trust the majority. Whoever's going to be on the floor right now, you're probably going to trust all of them to shoot the ball.
And you mentioned earlier before the half started that Lukosius was about the only player in the Bearcats that got himself open. So no doubt Lukosius is going to be in the back of the minds of the Sooners while they play defense on this critical possession. Teams disperse from their huddles. On the court for the Bearcats will be Newman, Locken, Skillings, Lukashis, and Josh Reed. No Day Thomas.
I think Victor Locken's the only one you would prefer to not take that shot. The other, I mean, and even Locken could still hit it. I would just rather have the other 4 guys shoot it. You're definitely looking at Lukashis for your first read.
Here we go, 15.2 left. The cross-court pass to Skillings. Skillings to Lukashis. Lukashis guarded heavily by Uzan, 10 seconds left. Lukashis is going to drive in and a foul is called, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
I honestly like not forcing anything right there. You knew you had enough time for it, didn't force anything. You're going to go to the free throw line. You definitely need both of these to at least make it so if they go make 2 free throws, you're still only down 3.
Day Thomas and J.V. McCollum both at the scores table. Lukashis tonight has 16 points. He's 2-3 from the charity stripe. Lukashis' first free throw. It's good. Nothing but net. That cuts the deficit to 2.
The place went completely silent for about a half a second right there as you went up with it.
Both teams make substitutions. 10 seconds left in the ball game. Bearcats trail 65-63. One more free throw. So once again, 5th, 3rd goes silent. Kosh dribbles. Second free throw is up. And that one's no good. Fight for rebound ends up in the hands of the Sooners. And they will foul
Dan, I don't know why. I think Dan just didn't have it in his head. He didn't go foul right away, and it wasted 4 seconds there.
Rivaldo Soares will go to the line to shoot. This will be a 1-and-1. He is a 86% free throw shooter on the year.
Cincinnati's probably going to call a timeout once he gets set here. Wouldn't be surprised.
Oklahoma will substitute personnel.
A missed free throw away from a chance to win this game.
Sooners without any timeouts. Bearcats have 1. Rivaldo Soares, ruckus gets loud. It's a 1-and-1. His free throw is up, and that one rattles in.
It looked a little heavy off his hand. I thought maybe he was going to miss long again.
The second free throw as Rivaldo Soares steps back from the free throw line. He comes back. This free throw could potentially be the dagger. His second free throw is up, and that one is nothing but net. Substitution for the Sooners. Fans start to make their way towards the exits. 6 seconds left.
Need a lot here.
Need a lot. Sooners are up by 4, 67-63. Lukashis will inbound it underneath the Sooner basket. 6 seconds left. Lukashis has it. He's looking. He's going to give it off to Day Thomas. Thomas to Skillings, and the Bearcats will call a timeout as they cross half court and advance the ball.
Quick play right off the inbound. You need a quick look, hit a 3 right away, foul. It's possible, but you have to be pretty much perfect here to have a chance to win this one. That one missed free throw is big now too, because 3-point game, you're thinking, okay, just one set, hit a 3, and we're at least taking it to overtime. But with that one missed free throw, all of a sudden now it's a 4-point game.
Today, the Bearcats are 14 of 22 from the free throw line, shooting 64%.
Better than Tuesday, but still not good.
Tuesday, they shot 52%. But that's been the kryptonite all year for the Bearcats, have been free throws. Bearcats have missed 8 tonight, and at the moment, it is a 4-point game.
If you make half your misses, you're trying to find the easiest way to get a 2 to win the ball game.
4.4 left to go in the ball game. Bearcats will have the ball. They need a miracle to try and force this one to overtime. Lukacius tonight, the Bearcats' leading scorer, 17 points. Newman right behind him with 14 points. Bearcats are shooting 38% from the field, 21 of 55. As I mentioned earlier, 7 of 25 from beyond the arc. That's 28%. Josh Reed will inbound it on the court for the Bearcats. Be Reed, Bandago, Locken, Skillings, and Lukacius. Reed, try alley-oop. Bandago, and he puts it in. 3.7 left. Sooners have to inbound it. Bearcats have to foul. No timeouts, and they foul Latrey Dart third. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. He shoots 67% from the free throw line this season.
No timeouts left for Cincinnati either, so on a rebound, you got to go. 2.7. He misses this. Rebound, you're probably going to try to get an outlet to half court, and I think you're going to about an NBA range 3 to try to win it if there's a missed free throw.
Newman and Thomas are at the scorer's table. They're going to check in for Bandago.
Did really like that inbound play. There's a lot more room for error now because you just went for the 2 rather than missing the 3, and you can you don't have to play quite as perfect right now.
So Scalings and Bandago come out on the court for the Bearcats. Be Locken, Reed, Thomas, Lukacius, and Newman. 2.7 left to go in the ball game. Sooners up 67-65. Dart third gets the ball. It's a 1-and-1. Will the miracle happen? Dart third's free throw. It's good.
Have to have a miss here for anything to happen. Take it to overtime.
Dart third to put the dagger in the coffin. That one is good. Sooners are up by 4. Bearcats will need a prayer. It's going to be a cross-court pass caught by Newman. Newman puts up a 3-pointer. It's no good, and the Sooners come to Cincinnati and defeat the Bearcats 69-65.
Hard-fought effort there. Couple of mistakes towards the end is really the difference. It felt like you could never play tight enough defense down the stretch to let yourself get runs to pull away and actually grab a lead and win this one. And it's disappointing. It's hard to win games. It's hard to win basketball games, and we know that. And today was very much so the case again. And that's a good Oklahoma team. We talked about it all night. That's a good ball club at Oklahoma. And you'll get another crack at them in March, but you wish you had this one, and you feel like it's right on the edge again. I mean, you're still in Big 12 play now. You still have a positive point differential. I mean, you're still plus 7 at this point for total Big 12 games through 5 of them, and you're 2-3, and played really well in all these. And the hardest part now is you got to rest up, hop on a plane tomorrow, and go play Kansas on Monday. There's not much time to think about this one.
That game will be nationally televised on ESPN. In the second half, the Sooners outscore the Bearcats 38-34. And you mentioned it, the story of the second half was really the Bearcats, when they thought they were clawing back, the Sooners would just respond.
That's exactly what happened. It felt like, every single time you hit a shot where you're like, all right, this is going to change things, this is going to go our way, then there'd be a shot right back at them that would change things around in the opposite direction. So it's frustrating in a sense, but also I feel like, you feel like you at least played well in this one. You feel like it's the same things over and over again that lose you games, though.
Today, overall, the Sooners, a team that shoots 49% from the field, which is third in the Big 12, shot 41% compared to the Bearcats is 39%. From beyond the arc, Sooners led that one 31% to 27%. And free throws. Sooners 16 of 18 compared to the Bearcats 14 of 22.
Yeah, both teams made the same number of free throws. Oklahoma just had 6 less attempts, which, you talk about it. If you make half of those misses, it's completely different game at the end there. You're not chasing points anywhere near as much at the end of that ball game. And you led for a good portion in this. You led for most of the first half, led at parts in the second half too, and just couldn't quite do enough to get over that edge and win that game. And it was a hard place to play. I mean, the atmosphere was here, and you just, it was like one step behind all night.
For the Bearcats, they fall to 13-5 and 2-3 in Big 12 plays. You mentioned they have to travel to Kansas and play the Jayhawks on ESPN Monday, 9 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we have women's collegiate basketball. Bearcats taking on the visiting Mountaineers from West Virginia. Here on Bearcat Sports Radio, my name is Chris McGon, alongside my partner, Preston Baker. We thank you for listening. Stay tuned to the Bearcats playing the West Virginia Mountaineers.